Good evening. My name is Brightops, and welcome back to Mordheim, City of the Damned. Last time we had a successful mission where we managed to collect all of our bounties, though we did have some injuries along the way. But that's just life in Mordheim. We also took the time to, though I did this off camera, I took the time to sell about half of the Wyrdstone that we had collected, because we had a fairly big stockpile of the stuff. And I will admit, it's going to take about, well, technically it's gonna be 3 days, but considering that once I hit the next day button, it's gonna go down to 2. It's gonna be in the next 2 missions from now, we are going to receive a pretty big payday. As in almost 1,500 bucks worth of money in one go. Which will more than take care of, training and all that. But anyway, let us see what the new day shall bring. Grey Vested has recovered. Good. We've got 2 warriors still recovering, and 2 are still training.
You have been rewarded.
And we got some additional rewards. Wonderful. Let's see, first things first, we might as well just give some better clothing. If you're wondering what the big deal is, it comes down to the fact that having a blue quality of clothing rather than the white, it increases armor absorption and increases dodge chance by a bit. So there is that. And who else was it? As much as I want to give you light armor, I can't, because you can't really dodge. Though, I do admit, I am kind of curious to get Scythe back into the action. And as much as I would love to give him just some better armor, right now we've... Actually, wait a second. Sorry, I just realized that he actually has some fairly decent... He actually has some fairly decent parrying skill, and we've given him a sword so he can actually use it. So it will be useful to see where he goes from here. And if possible, if he's going to lose another limb. Okay, our 3 missions. We've got a Crush Their Will, another Crush Their Will, and a Wyrdstone Rush. Though this one does bring with it some average Wyrdstone and some average gear. Which, honestly, we kind of need.
Your scouts have discovered a rival warband in the vicinity. These warriors are clustered around their wagon, making them a very attractive target.
Here's the thing, as much as I would love... Because we're going to be gathering Wyrdstone regardless. But we could use some better equipment. Because, let's face it, quality weapons would not be remiss. Okay, let's see, where are we? Okay, we're gathering around our wagon here. Their wagon is up here. Comet Worshippers. I think we're against the Sisters, but Yeah, that's definitely seems like a Sisters of Sigma kind of deal. Just having Miss Lana go a little bit further back, because... well, we need to let the more heavily armored people be a bit more up front. Allow them a chance to actually keep up with the rest of the warband. So let's see, what path will we be taking? Sorry, just another look. Alright, that could work. The way I'm thinking is we send some this way, and we'll send some people through that line of buildings there to try and come at their cart from two different sides, while potentially luring them away from the carts and into the open, where we can have someone just rush in, grab it, and run out. I'm honestly considering Miss Lana for the job, since she is one of our fastest people, and is the best suited for dodging blows. So that might just be our game plan here. Is have the party lure them out into a fight which we can defend ourselves in, while she runs around the back and steals their stuff. Truly heroic. But hey, we're not heroes, we're mercenaries, that's kind of our job. Let's see, what was I going to talk about today? Ah, yes. I know this is more related to the Blood Bowl series, but I remember mentioning a little while ago that I had been invited to participate in a YouTuber Blood Bowl tournament. And while I will admit I'm going to have to get a list of the actual YouTubers involved, we have very recently managed to get... well, very recently managed to get the last of the 8 people that we were going to have for it. So it is going to be underway. I will come back with you with more details on who's involved and honestly what team I'll be using, because that has not been decided yet. Because I have mentioned this before, but I will repeat it. The way that teams are going to be decided is the YouTubers involved will have the choice of what team. However, there can only be one team there can only be one of each team. So you're not going to have 2 players who are going to be using dwarves, for example. Unless, of course, you count the split between dwarves and chaos dwarves, but that's another matter. Still... but how it's going to work is the players are going to roll a dice, and everyone's going to roll a dice, and the person that's going to decide the order of who gets to pick when. I will admit I've already rolled, and while we're still missing one person who hasn't come online since the rolling has started, currently missing one, but at the moment I'm somewhat kind of in the middle of the list of people getting to select their team.
A new round has started.
Oh, wait. We're not against the... well, I feel silly. We're not against the Sisters at all. We're against a Chaos Cult. I mean, obviously there are some people in the Empire that believe they are one and the same thing, but... But that is kind of a big mistake to make. Whoopsie-daisy. Okay, I think that's a bow. So we're not gonna have Sinister charge at Mutant Bugger. Because getting shot isn't fun. Damn. And I do believe this guy does not have any eyes. Yes, I'm familiar with this particular mutation. Effectively, this Norseman has been blessed with basically Chaos Vision. He doesn't have eyes anymore, but he doesn't really need them. In the sense that he can see perfectly fine. He can get like 100% perception tests without really having to worry about it. Okay, Sinister's gonna need some help. Ew, nuts. Thankfully, these buggers seem a bit too preoccupied with trying to cast their spells rather than actually killing Seven, but that's not gonna last for too long. Okay, let's try and give Seven some support. Good God, stop! There! Is that so freaking hard? Nope. Failed perception check. Oh well. Oh, well, that's disappointing. It looked like you could climb up this thing. Turns out the answer is no. Yep, there's our mutant little shite. There's a couple more of their goons that are currently just sort of slowly but steadily making their way towards us. And Scythe is slowly but surely making his way towards the enemy. And if nothing else, we can stop Bernie Eyes McGee here from actually being able to take any pot shots at anyone. Which might not sound like much, but honestly, a hero that's been trained up in basically range combat can be pretty damn deadly.
A new round has started.
As we've seen with Miss Lana. And unfortunately, we've run into one of the few heroes that can't actually be parried. And yes, you are seeing things correctly. The eyes in his head are burning, and he does have thousands of eyes over his goddamn chest. God damn it. Basically, I'm going into the swinging simply because we want to stop the... We want to try and stop this eyeless bugger from actually running off and causing even more trouble for our people over there. And yes, the Idol of Blood, as we can see right there, what it does is any combat that takes part within its borders more or less heals... It starts healing people. Though only allies, from the looks of it. I do admit I am somewhat annoyed that Seven got, well, wasted like that, but... What the hell? Oh. Whoops-a-daisy. Or I completely forgot Yorick's gift completely... It negates a few things, one of which is ranged attacks. I feel like a moron. That was a little whoopsie on my part. Yeah, I will admit in hindsight, sending Scythe in heavy armor, probably not the greatest move I've ever done. We didn't need fear right now. Nor do we need an enemy that we can't actually bloody parry. Because that's just all we need, because we're in just the right spot that we can actually be ganged up on like this.
A new round has started.
On the plus side, we don't have to worry about the Norsemen disengaging from battle and basically joining the fray over there. And yes, now that I look closer, there is a giant eyeball in the middle of his chest. Wonderful. Freaking wonderful. There goes Sirius. Thankfully, spellcasting with an axe, not the greatest thing you can do. Unfortunately, God damn it. Alright, so kill you. Whew, one dead. Good start. Anything good on you? Not really. Start working on this guy, who sadly will not run away from battle. It's part of the deal of the Norse. They can't withdraw from battle, but they can't. They also cannot be made to be feared or anything of the sort. Okay, let's... So he's dead and dealt with. Good. Don't have to worry about the mutant anymore. Granted, the rest of the fight down here is going to be tough on old Conrad, but... well, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And sadly, Trevor's just gonna have to eat some arrows for a while. Thankfully, Ulrich's gift will actually be useful to Conrad in this situation, as will just Scythe being here in general. Because Ulrich's gift, which we will show off in a second, increases melee damage and hit chance, and makes you immune to all alone, prevents flee, disengage, and ranged attacks. Which, granted, isn't great in some situations, but...
A new round has started.
Well, that's kind of the whole deal of a war god, isn't it? And I'm afraid that Miss Lana is kind of been backed into a corner, because of which she can't actually disengage. Which is annoying, because I would have liked to have pulled back, taken out the gun, and shot him. Grey Vested is down. I will admit I'm not entirely sure what the Idol of Pestilence does, but I do not think it's going to be beneficial in any way. Okay, we're going to take that and we're going to run for it, because our gunman cannot fight is not really in a position to fight someone with a hammer. What the hell does this thing do? I'm not sure, but honestly, if we keep on putting bullets in Cornelius there, that's probably not going to be a bad thing. Because that idol isn't causing us damage. It's possible that what it's doing is basically like that Plague Bearer did, and is just reducing the number of offensive points we've got. That's about all I can think of. See, Wild Pack. Immune to fear, causes fear on enemies. Which, admittingly, isn't going to help us much with the big denomic-looking bugger that right in front of us, because, well, as it turns out, he's immune to fear and terror and stuff like that. But the other guy? But this guy? Not so much. I don't think he's got those kinds of immunities. Which may just help us out here.
A new round has started.
Plus the fact that while serious armor might be slow, we can actually absorb damage like a champ. Now here's the funny thing. Miss Lana has been designed more for range combat than she has been for melee. I can admit that. But while she might have a hard time hitting, the way I've been setting her up also means that she actually has a fairly easy time critting the enemies she hits. So we're seeing that play off. And the freakish one-eyed chess man with disturbingly accurate visions is down. That's gonna help us out a lot. actually wasn't the target I was aiming for, but whatever. We're probably better off getting rid of that thing anyway. I don't know what it does. Still, putting a couple more bullets in Cornelius probably isn't going to hurt anyone who isn't, you know, Cornelius. I'm going to admit we are probably not going to be achieving our secondary objective on this one. And with Cornelius down, there's a good chance that, yep, they've broken. Yeah, we're gonna have to give Scythe some training in heavy armor before we let him take the field again while wearing it. Having him join the fray earlier would have been helpful.
When the Baron hears how you decimated the enemy, he will be as pleased as a halfling in a pie shop. He may even send a bit of gold by way of gratitude.
Alright, let's see what the payment for this victory was. Let's see, a light wound? Eh, we can recover from that. Old battle wound. Crippling damage to the warrior's nervous system has left it with recurrent pains. This injury reduces accuracy and its maximum by 1. Not the greatest, because accuracy is your... is basically crit chance. As well... Grave Acid got a full recovery, which is nice.
The gods are with you.
And a level up, even better. Let's see, Trevor got another a light wound as well. We have amnesia once again. And the bastard stole my sword. And
Remarkable.
I'm sorry, I think this might be the first time in a very long time that Scythe has taken to the field and not died. So this is new. But let's see, what have we gotten? Well, we've gotten some rare clothing and a rare helmet, so if nothing else, we have gotten some fairly decent equipment. But yes, accuracy increases your chance to hit with the critical, as well as the critical hit damage, and allows you to bypass a target's dodge a bit better. But yeah. Yes, if anyone's going to get some more fancy clothing, it will be Miss Lana, for she has been incredibly useful. But as for the rest, I'll take care of that off camera. But apart from that, I do believe that is all for now. Until next time, my name is Bright Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you.